Okay, so this is part 2 of the 1-2 notes. On the front side, we just got done evaluating and combining like terms, and I started to explain this side and then the battery died on my camera, so now we're going to do this kind of in 2 separate parts. At the top here is an activity that should look pretty familiar. You did an activity like this before we did these notes about how to combine like terms, and notice it says color them with a different colored map pencil or highlighter, and it says you will need 6 colors. That's a big hint. If you don't use 6 colors, then you probably messed up somewhere, so be careful as you're filling that out. Okay, then down here you'll notice that I kind of already started one, but that's because I did it on the other video and I don't have another copy of these notes. So what we did first was mark the like terms using the same color. So I rewrote the problem, 2x plus 3x plus 4x, and because they were all x's, I highlighted them all the same color. Then our second step was to reorganize the colors together, but since they're all the same color, we don't really need to reorganize them. The C/A stands for commutative and associative. Those are the properties that we're using to rearrange the numbers and to group them. So right now, this one, since it's all the same, we didn't really have a step 2. And then step 3 was to combine each color separately. Well, since they're all yellow, we said 2 plus 3 was 5, and then 5 plus 4 was 9. When you go to put this in the calculator, you would put 2 plus 3 plus 4. You do not, for any reason, put a variable in the calculator unless you are graphing or trying to do insolve. So again, do not put x in the calculator. You would just put 2 plus 3 plus 4. That should give you 9. And then because that group is x, we put x on our answer. We are not evaluating. So when it says simplify, that means just to combine like terms. And we defined like terms on the front. If you need to, you could go back to it. It's terms that contain the same variable and the same exponent. So be super careful about that. So let's look at the second one over here. Simplify 3p plus 2t plus 6p plus 4t. So we're going to go ahead and follow the steps, and I'm going to rewrite it just so we can see it a little bit better. And as I'm rewriting it, I want you to go ahead and pick out 2 colors, because if you notice, we have both p and t. So that means we're going to need 2 separate colors. And so I'm going to do yellow. So here's my p's. I'm going to do 3p. And then the next one is 6p. But what I want you to remember is that when you're highlighting, the sign that is in front of the number needs to be highlighted as well. So this would be plus 6p. And then we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to switch colors and I'm going to use green. Well, maybe I should use pink. It's a little bit more noticeable. So then I'm going to do plus 2t. Again, the signs go with, and plus 4t. So we want those signs to go with. So now it says reorganize, putting the colors together. So I'm going to just group my 3p, because that's yellow, and then my next yellow says plus 6p. So I'm going to put plus 6p. And I'm going to close that group. Okay. Then in between the groups, I would go ahead and put a plus, and then I'm going to do the next group. So plus 2t. Well, I already have a plus, which is positive, so I don't need to write it. Now I can if you want to, but I'm going to put 2t, and then here I'm going to put plus 4t. Again, the signs travel with the numbers. So now we've reorganized them using the commutative. I've put the p's together. And then associative, I've grouped them. So now combine each color separately. So I'm going to do my yellows. So 3p plus 6p. So 3 plus 6 makes 9p. And then I'm not going to put a sign here. I'm going to perform this before I decide what sign goes there. So 2 plus 4 makes 6, and that's positive. So we're going to put a plus 6t here. And this is our solution. We cannot put the p's with the t's, so we're not going to do 9 plus 6. That's not how this works. Okay? Good. So again, one of our hints that I want you to write down here is that the signs travel with the numbers, because that's something that we have a tendency to forget. So again, the signs travel with the numbers, so don't forget that. Okay. All right. So let's see. We've got a few more that we can do. Let's go ahead and look at this one. I'll start it and then I'll have you finish it. So I'm not going to rewrite it this time. I'm going to try to highlight it above. So I'm going to start with my yellow. Here's my X, so I'm going to do 7X. And then again, my signs go with it. Here's my other X, so it would be minus 10X. And then I don't have any more. So now I'm going to pick up my pink, and I've got a minus 3Y and a plus 8Y. But the other ones don't have anything. But they are both constants, so they are going to go together. So I'm going to highlight those in green. So I have a minus 5 and a minus 8. So this time when I go to do step 2, which is to reorganize them using the colors, okay, I'm going to have 3 groups. So I would have 7X minus 10X. Again, it goes with this, okay? And then I'm not even going to put a sign in the middle. I'm just going to make my 3 groups. So there's my yellow. Then I'm going to do my pink. So I've got a minus 3Y and a plus 8Y. And now I'm going to do my green, which is minus 5 minus 8. So now the last step is to combine each color separately. So I want you to put it in your calculator. You should get 7 minus 10 and put the answer here. Negative 3 plus 8 and put your answer right beside it. And then negative 5 minus 8 and put that answer right here. Okay? So again, if you have 3 colors, you should have 3 groups, which means your answer should have 3 terms. Okay? All right, so in fact, we can put this. The number of colors should match the number of terms in your answer. Just as another hint. Okay? All right, so I do want you to be careful on this one. When you go to set this one up, you're going to have a plus 9C and a minus 9C. 9 minus 9 makes 0. So when you go to write your answer on this one, you don't actually have to put 0C. So in your answer, you wouldn't have a C at all. But if you put 0C, it's not going to be wrong. Okay? So we can put that down here under maybe another hint. If a variable cancels out, and then in parentheses maybe put equals 0, you do not have that variable in your answer. All right, and then the last hint that I kind of want to remind you guys of is that your constants go together, because that's the part that you guys always have a tendency to forget. And remember, constants are just your numbers, like this negative 5 and negative 8. So put the constants must also be combined, because they are like terms, they just don't have a variable. So that's what makes them like terms. Okay? All right. So the rest of these I do want you to kind of try on your own. If you get stuck, let me know. Please make sure your exponents have to match. So on this one down here at the bottom, I have an m squared and an m. these don't go all together. So if you have some, in fact, we might need to do that one. Let's do this one, okay? And then I'll let you guys kind of work on your own. So we're going to go ahead and highlight. So I've got a 4xy. This is xz, but this is an xy. So I would do plus 7xy. And then I'd pick up another color. So if I do pink, I have minus 4xz, but then this is yz. So that would be by itself. So when I go to group these, I'm going to have yellow, which is 4xy plus 7xy. But then my pink group just says minus 4xz, and my green group just has negative 11yz. So that makes it pretty simple. So if we combine these two, 4 plus 7 is 11. So we would have 11xy. But then there's nothing to combine here. So we just put minus 4xz. And then over here, again, nothing to combine. So we would put minus 11yz. So just because it doesn't have something to match it with doesn't mean that it doesn't go in your answer. Okay, so I want you to try the rest of these on your own. If you need help, make sure you ask me, as I am still in the room. And then at the bottom, it says write in a complete sentence or sentences a misconception that was cleared up for you in today's lesson. So maybe something that you didn't know that you just learned today, or something that you thought was true that ended up not to be true. All right, good luck.